Some people say doing this hike as a one night out and back is crazy or feels like a death march. We felt like it was a lot, but totally doable. We hike year round and had already done over 200 miles this year, so it really depends on you and your style. There are plenty of options for camps along the way to break it up, or you could spend 2 nights in the Enchanted Valley and spend a day exploring and hiking further in. After the cute little town, you will hit the county line and the end of the pavement. From there, it was about 25 minutes of dirt road driving. There were a few camping spots along the river before you enter the park. Once you get into the national park, roadside camping is not allowed. The road winds its way through the forest, coming out to join the river every now and then. It is fine for any vehicle if you take it easy. Parking is limited, but there's a good amount of roadside parking between the campground and the parking lot, and there's a nice no parking area in the parking lot to turn around. The numerous bridges crossing glacial streams are one of the highlights of this hike. The very first one is tucked away, so make sure you pick it and not the horse ford. I didn't see it and managed to get both my feet wet in the first half mile. Our previously planned outing to the Enchanted Valley got canceled by a heat wave, and now that I've been there, I'm glad we made that call. While there's plenty of water along this trail, it is not always accessible, and there's less tree cover than I expected. With the sun being down and the added humidity of the river, I think this would have been miserable in 100-degree weather. At the start of the trail, you are well above the water, with occasional crossings. I particularly like the section where you are on a narrow path alongside of a deep canyon with nearly straight rock walls and incredibly blue water rushing through. The depth makes it often hard to see the water, but the music of it fills the canyon, and you catch glimpses of it every now and then as you cautiously peer over the edge. We visited the rainforest a month ago, and we felt that this trail had everything that it had and much more. So I would happily skip Ho and come here instead. We've seen numerous reports of many bear sightings along this trail, and even heard this area described as bear soup. But we only heard a single report of one on our trip, and we never saw it. A ranger gave us a little insight on why this might be. They said that early in the season, the bears are down lower, and they make their way up into the mountains as things thaw. They also said that the rangers sometimes proactively make sure the bears stay wary of humans and move along on their migration up the mountains by hazing them, which involves chasing them and firing pepper paintballs. You should still have a map, but this trail was so well marked, they even had markers for most of the creek crossings, including one without a name. I love how rustic and beautifully done many of these bridges are, integrating bits of the forest. Some parts of this trail made me feel like we had shrunk. In sections, giant ferns and massive uprooted trees line the trail, and slugs as large as my hand slid along the ground. I despise slugs as much as anyone when they're in my garden, but here they're pretty cool. They seem to be the most chill creature out here, just slowly slinking around, totally unpressured by the speed of the animal world around them. This bridge was the most impressive and potentially the most vertigo-inducing. Do yourself a favor and don't try to turn around with a big pack on to get a photo, like I did. There are a couple like this one that are supported by solid massive beams that must have been flown in. The Enchanted Valley Chalet is nearly 100 years old, and it was built by a recreation company just before World War II, before this was a national park. In the 1930s, you could stay here for as little as $1.50 a night, and pay an additional $1 for a hot meal. Even inflation adjusted to about $29, that sounds like an amazing deal. You can find more about the structure in the links below. Like Park Butte Lookout, the Enchanted Valley Chalet was also used as part of the aircraft warning services during World War II. But unlike the mountaintop lookout, it is unclear to me how it was used, being in a valley. Perhaps as a satellite for people to venture further up? Please comment if you know more. Near the chalet, there were 2 vault toilets with toilet seats, 4 wheels, a roof, and everything. Unfortunately, the main trail takes you right by one, and let's just say it doesn't enhance the air quality. There are campsites all around here, stretching out for nearly 1.5 miles, so there's something for everyone. Some out in the big open areas, others tucked away in the trees, on the beach, or even on little rocky islands in the river. We picked a nice flat sandy spot close enough to the river that it could sing us to sleep. Just as we were finishing setting up the tents, we noticed a big bear scat right next to one. Despite that, I had one of the best nights of sleep camping that I have ever had. In the evening, the mist turned to a light rain, but to our delight, we woke to clear skies and a totally different view of the valley. After picking out our site, we had ditched our packs and went exploring upriver a bit. In the morning, we did the same hike and saw totally different views. It was fun to imagine what was behind the fog and see it revealed the next day as we made our way back. Most of the time we were wrong. Snow-capped peaks would pop out in places we never thought to paint them. And other places where there seemed to be mysterious peaks looming behind the fog, turned out to be nothing but tree-topped hills. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. There are resources below and information on free ways to help support this channel. The easiest is liking and subscribing. Thank you. Happy exploring!